Welcome back to JB Reviews. I finally found a Ram 2500 Rebel. This is a 2023 because that's when the truck got unveiled. And I am at Larry H. Miller Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Sandy, Utah. They do have this in stock. So let's go ahead and take a look at the window sticker. I'm going to give you guys my first impressions because this is my first time seeing this truck. And I want to give you guys my thoughts on this brand new trim level for the HD segment. Here is the window sticker for the Ram Rebel we're going to be reviewing today. So base price for this truck is just under $70,000 at $68,425. Short listing of your standard equipment here, and then here is all the options. So this one does have a lot of options, and it has the $7,000 level 2 equipment group, and it does continue up here. It does give you a lot of nice things like ventilated front seats, and then this one has that 6.7 Cummins, and that's gonna be $96.95. A few other options here with a destination at $18.95 and a total price of $91,900. Now, if you do see a Rebel, the only thing that you could see that's different from this truck from a Power Wagon is really the wheels. Like, I don't really see much of anything that the Power Wagon doesn't have that this one does. You would obviously get this new Sport Performance hood on both, and I really do like it on this truck. This paint color, the blacked out on the front, looks amazing. You can also get these projector style full LED headlights too. Everything in here is LED. Turn signals, accent lights, everything. And these do swivel as well. LED fog lights down below. And parking sensors all throughout on the front end. And this grille is really nice from the Power Wagon. I was gonna actually put this on one of my Ram 2500s I had in the past, but I was concerned about cooling, so I didn't do it. And then as you can see down here, nice grille. And something else that I noticed that's a little different from the other Ram. Do you see how they cut right here? You can kind of see it, how they cut. So it gives you just a little bit more ground clearance down below. Cameras right there in the center, and they still close off the hood scoop up front even on the Rebel, and then you have these heat extractors on the side. But this hood is available for the night edition for Laramie and Limited too. But overall, really aggressive front. And earlier, as I mentioned, the wheels are the only thing that are different from the Power Wagon. You only can get a 20-inch wheel, which comes standard. They are wrapped in a Goodyear Wrangler tire, like the Power Wagon. These are the dirt tracks. And here's the capacity for them right here. It's gonna be 3,640 pounds at 80 PSIs. And it's an LT 285/60/20, which means it's gonna be a 33-inch tire. Bilstein shocks, solid front axle still. This one does have the deployable running boards, and this one has like that two-tone, so you have the green and black. You can get it monotone if you'd like. And then here are the new tow mirrors. We will go over these in a second. And then you have that camera down below. And obviously the Rebel has the option to get that turbo diesel, and why this truck is so expensive too. Smart key system. And then here's just a better look at the truck overall. This paint has a lot of metallic in it too. I wonder if I would prefer it all in just green versus the black bottom piece. We're gonna still have a 31-gallon fuel tank and a 5.7-gallon DEF tank. And you do have an option to get air suspension for this truck. So this truck doesn't have a higher ride height compared to the other Ram HDs like the Power Wagon does. So just keep that in mind. But out back, I do like how they spelt out Ram. You have that Rebel badge right there on the side, and then four-wheel drive on this side here. Class 5 receiving hitch, parking sensors, and then this one does have the 12-pin And this is basically for like a camera input, and then you have your 7-pin. You do have an LED light down below with the camera. And this is gonna have an assisted tailgate. Now this one does not have fifth wheel prep package. Man, it snowed a lot here in Sandy. Now up top, you do have a camera for the bed. And let's check out these taillights. All LED, just like you saw in the front. And here's that paint in the shade too. You don't really see that metallic at all in the shade. So this is probably the main reason why the Rebel was developed for the HDs, and it's because of this right here. In the past, you were not able to get a Cummins inside of a Power Wagon, and that's because they did reduce the gross fuel weight rating for the Power Wagon. It's like 8,565 pounds. This truck has a 10,000 pound GWR, although it should be higher. I'm not going to go there in this video yet, but this has 370 horsepower, 850 pound-feet of torque, made it to a 68 RFE 6-speed transmission. And I do believe this is a great, reliable setup here. It's been around for a while. They did beef up the transmission when they upped the power back in 2019 for this Cummins. And they did reduce the weight back then too. But nothing much is really new under the hood. Like I said, it's the same Cummins that they've had for a while. And I think that you can see a lot of reliability because they probably fixed a lot of the bugs. Especially this one right here. You can probably see it down there, the fuel pump. But this one does have that CP3 fuel pump, and that was probably one of the biggest updates that they did on this engine back in 2021, I believe. Now, as I mentioned, this truck does have smart key system, so if you push that button, that would lock it, and then you can slide your hand into the door to unlock it. Power deployable running boards. They do have some off-road running boards available for this truck too, that you see on the Power Wagon. But this is a really nice interior. You get leather trim, and that's only because of that level 2 equipment group. Love the black accents that they give you around the interior. This is really upscale, and I still think Ram is really one of the best interiors in the market. They really changed the whole game when they unveiled this truck. Man. And one thing that I like that this truck has is it does have the digital gauge cluster, which we will go over here in a second. But before we do that, let's go ahead and look at the mirrors. So you do have the option to power fold them from inside the truck. That's been around for a long time. And what's new are these updates for how you can control these new design mirrors. So we'll go through it pretty quickly. You do have lights on the front and back of the mirrors, and then you can now adjust the mirrors out, and you can fine-tune them too, like so you don't have to push them all the way out if you don't need to, and it controls it on both sides too. So this is probably one of the biggest updates because they did not have this in the past. You had to flip them up. And then what they added back in 2019 was the option to be able to control the convex. Now you can select left or right, and then you can use the toggle here to basically control that. These mirrors are heated. They have blind spot monitoring, all that good stuff too. But let's go ahead and check out this digital gauge cluster. I won't spend too much time on this interior just because nothing really has changed, but just looking around the interior as the truck heats up, you do have that Rebel badge here on the side. Love the design here too. This is really nice. And I think this is where Ram definitely has stepped their game up, is to not just add a Rebel package and then use the rest of the Ram's interior, but you can even tell, like even right here, like they have a nice design for this. And yeah, it does definitely resemble the Power Wagon, which is a really good thing because the Power Wagon, like level 2, is nice. I think it even has a nicer center console than this too. I believe that they close all this off. This one does not have the wireless power station, by the way, so just keep that in mind. It had the auxiliaries right there. And here's some of your towing features: exhaust brake and tow haul mode, four-wheel drive system. You can lock the rear axle. And I didn't mention this, but this does have a 373 rear because of the diesel. You cannot get the 410. It is available for the Hemi, however. And as I mentioned, let's go ahead and jump back over here. Man, this is really nice. As I've mentioned in the past, I like the digital gauge cluster because it shows you more information a lot cleaner. They've had a 7-inch cluster, which works perfect, and I think I still kind of like it a little bit better than this. And you're going to see why here in a second. But this is, what page? This is page number 2. I'm going to go back to page 1. So you have the speedometer. You can change it to kilometers. And this is, again, why I like the digital cluster. You have your DEF level over here. You have your fuel level on that side. And this is going to show you all of your information. So starting it off is your miles per gallon. I like that they put it here with everything else. That was really smart for them to do. That way you take away some of the pages that you have. And then you have some of your gauges here. So this is basically the gauge summary, oil summary. And I kind of don't like this because I'm just picky. I'm just that guy. I'm sorry, I'm picky. I would have liked for them to put the gauge summary all together like they've always done, or at least allow you to set this up to where you can have all the gauges together and just have gauge summary and oil summary all together, basically. But you know what? Hey, I do like this overall still. And then here is your tire pressure. There's some more gauges. Ram gives you the most gauges of any other pickup. I love that they give you the exhaust brake and boot pressure, diesel particulate filter, so that way you can, check that if it starts to get full. And fuel filter life and your idle, and then it goes back to the beginning. Then moving on down, you do have a trip information. So this is going to be your trip 1, and then trip 2, although they say trip A, trip B. And then you have a full navigation map display, which is new. And then this is for your off-road. It shows your drivetrain and your steer angle, and then your pitch and roll right here. And trailer, so you have 2 menus here. This is for your trailer brake gain, and then this shows you the miles that you've driven your trailer to. And then you have your audio and your messages, settings. Let's go in here. So you do have the auxiliary, so here is the code for that. And then you can set up a new pen if you like, and you can set up the auxiliaries, things like that. Now, as far as your screen setup goes, you can change the information pretty much everywhere inside of this. I like they do that. You can see where everything's going at. Your fuel gauge, you can even change that. Let's check that out real quick. Show range, hide range. So they give you a lot of ways you can really set this up. You can change your favorite menus. You can show your trip information. You can show navigation, off-road, trailer. So yeah, they really allow you to customize this. I think they're the best in this game here. So you can change the display style to traditional, to modern, to back to traditional. So they only have 2. That's something that Chevy did too. I like that they did that too. I'm not sure if they were the first to market for that, but yeah, that was definitely really cool. Now let's check out some of these camera features, because I have not really had a chance to show this. But this is going to be your backup camera, obviously, and then this shows you a bird's eye view, and then this shows you a wider view right here, and then here's another view for the frontal. Perfect for going off-road. These lines here do go with the steering of your truck, and then you have a more frontal view, like a more of a wide range. Same thing goes for the back. You can zoom into your conventional hitch, and as I mentioned, you do have a bed camera, and if you are hooking up a gooseneck, there is a line that moves with the steering wheel. You can actually adjust the center line if you like. And then if you have auxiliary cameras, as I mentioned, on the back of the truck, you have that 12 pin. That's going to be for this. And more cams. So you have vehicle. So yeah, there's just a lot of different things that this truck can do. Here, this is a trailer reverse guidance, so you can, if you're backing up a trailer, this would be helpful for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, this truck does have a lot of camera views, just like the other two do as well. Dual climate control, and yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much different on the interior. I mean, everything looks pretty much the same. I do like the accents that they give you, like especially right here. You have a Rebel badge. This is all wrapped in leather. And I've said this a few other times. They have the best center console in the game too. Huge. One last thing, I guess it wouldn't be fitting to show you an off-road truck without showing you the off-road pages. So here's some of the information they show you. We are in Utah, so we are pretty high up in elevation. They should also show you the gauge summary over here, so I guess I can't complain too much. I do like this. Pitch and rolls right there. And as I mentioned, you have that forward-facing camera, and it gives you a nice readout of where the direction of the tires are going. So that's all in the off-road pages, which is basically in the vehicle information right here. And then you have your cameras, as you just saw. You have your controls, settings are right there as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the back, and I'll show you guys the payload. Now out back, you do have leather-wrapped interior, 60/40 bench, and storage down below, as well as under the seat. On this side is a subwoofer, so you don't have any storage. Cup holders down there. You have more cup holders right there. And outboard heated seats, power plug, 4 USBs, Type A and Type C, 2 of each basically. There are hooks up there too, the hangs things if you like. And lights, speakers, really nice setup back here. And let's go ahead and take a look at the payload for this truck. So this truck does have a gross axle rating of 6,000 pounds. The rear is 6,040, and you guys see that? I was wrong earlier. I said this had a 10,000 pound GWR. 9,680 pounds. Why would they do that? That is very interesting. Why would they do that? So they lowered it just like they do on the Power Wagon. So this is a purpose-built truck too, I guess. Not for towing. And then here you go. 1,755 pounds is the payload. So 1,755 pounds. So it would have closer to 2,000 pounds had it not been for that lower GWR. But hey, it is what it is. Overall, still a nice truck. You can still tow a decent sized travel trailer. And yeah, special shout out to Larry H. Miller for allowing me to do this video. I hope it was helpful for you guys. I am going to give you 3 things you did not know about this truck in another video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But I'll see you guys soon.